Alright, everybody. I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the first couple episodes of MF Ghost, and I'm just going to be completely honest. It's really not as good as I would have liked it to be. Now, I already know that this isn't going to be a popular opinion, but I'm just going to be as honest as possible here. After watching the first 3 episodes, it kind of it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. So far from what we see only from the first 3 episodes, mind you, it could change because it's only 3 episodes, but for right now it just seems like a bit of a rehash of things that we've already seen. The reason why I think this is because it's kind of just pretty much already what it is. You have your new talented young, I guess very attractive beginner driver that like knows what he's doing already, and it kind of shocks everybody. You get your two side characters that are supposed to be like Ikitani and Itsuki kind of types of people. You get your female love interest, and it's like they kind of sped up the process from what Initial D did. I went back and I rewatched season 1 of Initial D, and I see the difference between the two. MF Ghost seems like they kind of just sped all the characters in place when it comes to like this whole love interest thing. It's like it's kind of moving at the same pace as Initial D is. It just seems a little bit faster. I just wish that there was some... In Initial D, there wasn't any backstory to how certain things happened. Things kind of just happened, like Takumi is the driver, and, this is his 8.6, his father's 8.6 and stuff. But there was a little bit of context, it was his dad's car. Takumi learned how to drive because his dad, taught him since he was in 7th grade. He gave him a cup of water, he made him deliver the tofu, and that's how he tailored the 8.6 to teach him his technique. So there was a little bit of depth to Takumi's character that they explained like kind of early on, and how he got to this point. With this new character, as of right now, these characters aren't very memorable for me in comparison to Initial D. I don't really even remember any of their names so far. It hasn't been ingrained inside my memory. They haven't just been that memorable. They're kind of like less entertaining characters of like Ikitani, Itsuki, and the whole ragtag gang. The mechanic of the GT86 is like kind of like the Itsuki maybe character, I suppose, and the older guy is like Ikitani, I guess. They just kind of have that, vibe going for them, and that's kind of the whole point. They're just bringing back the same ideas, I suppose. They all have their love interests, and they're trying, I don't know, everyone still wants to go out with this specific girl for some reason. I don't really know. They're just doing the same thing over again, essentially. And I just wish there was a little bit more intro to our main protagonist in this story, and to his motives. Takumi didn't have any motives in Initial D, which is kind of what made Initial D special. It kind of curved the character arc for him and, made him a very memorable character. This character starting out pretty much the same exact way Takumi did. The only difference is this character already likes to drive versus Takumi. But he has the same concepts as Takumi, and so far his driving skills actually is pretty similar in actually pretty much the same. That being, they said he trained at the Takumi Fujiwara Racing School. So that's kind of the depth that we're getting with this character, is that he trained at the Takumi Fujiwara Racing School. I just kind of want to know, how did he do the same thing that Bunta did? we're not seeing Takumi there as a mentor like we saw Bunta, Takumi's father, in Initial D, like explain certain things to Takumi, or even not explain certain things to Takumi and let Takumi figure out for himself. You know, it kind of let like a mysterious thing. It left like this mysterious void about Bunta, is that, you know, he was the best, but not a lot of people know about it. Kind of situation, and you know, that's kind of what drove. And Takumi is, you know, this skilled driver that goes based on instinct, but doesn't know anything about cars. So it was this interesting dynamic between both of their learning curves and how they communicated with each other. But this kid seems to be already a natural, which is a good thing. I just wish that there was a little bit more understanding. Like, if Takumi was there, like, how did he teach this kid? Did he use the water to teach him? You know, obviously he's not sending him out on deliveries up Mount Akina all the time, so that's not it. So, I mean, I guess instead of kind of showing us what happened, I guess they kind of just said, well, he went to the Takumi Fujiwara Racing School. Okay, well, why this kid specifically? Like, I feel like Initial D kind of set the bar with, you know, why this kid, and it kind of answered your question. It's like, oh, this is why Takumi is the main guy. You know, there are all these supporting pieces to his personality and the car and to his father and his friends that kind of support the claims that, you know, this is the guy, like, this is the guy that can do it all no matter what, and he has infinite amounts of plot armor, and that's why he can win every race. But it was done in a way where it was cool. So far with this character is, you know, he's very energetic, he's not shy, he's very talkative, he's kind of the complete opposite seeming of Takumi, which is fine, but the same premise kind of just still, it just seems like it seems like it is Initial D, but not as entertaining. Like, I like the fact how they brought in the whole ghost thing, and that's why it's MF Ghost, I suppose, because they're chasing ghosts, like, for times. That's pretty cool. I like that concept on how, you know, they're imagining ghosts setting certain times, and you're like beating yourself at your time. I do like that concept, but I just wish there was a little bit more behind the character. They probably will explain it later. I just wish they explained it earlier. Like, I wish the first couple episodes of this would actually be, you know, the kid at the track trying to learn Takumi's technique with Takumi being there, and then they create some type of dynamic, and the ultimate goal is to get to MF Ghost, you know, halfway through the series or something like that. I feel like that would have been maybe a different or better approach, because with Takumi, you know, the way they worked his character up is he didn't even want to race. He was just going as fast as he could, beat Keisuke by accident, and, you know, it created this really fresh, you know, character that nobody's ever seen before. But I feel like people have seen types of characters like this kid, like young, handsome kid, he's fast, and everybody knows it. But so far, I just feel like it's just a very underwhelming version of Initial D. Did that scene where he did the four-wheel drift give me goosebumps? Yes, it did. It was like a cool nostalgia trip. I liked it. It was fun. I thought it was a cool throwback. But it's just, again, like, they did the nostalgia thing. It's like, but they didn't give us anything new. Like, it's the same rehash. Like, I found myself binge watching Initial D again. I know it's only episode 3. I like the art design. You know, the show could still go on from here, and then it'll explain it in depth, and maybe Takumi will come back, or there'll be some type of explanations for what's going on, and, you know, maybe a little bit more in depth on what's happening, because right now we just got this kid who's really good, and that's it. Versus Initial D, where we had this kid that's really good, and here's why he's really good. And yeah, that's really it. That's my short little take on the characters. Alright. Thank you.